we're gonna go ahead and get started now. First thing we're going to talk about today will be the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks will start off the West next series, and we're going to end with the Celtics. So we're going to start with the team that made the finals in the West, and we're going to end with the team that won the championship in the East. So we're going to go Dallas, Denver, OKC, Boston. Sounds good. Speaking on the Dallas Mavericks now, guys, let's go ahead and get this started and out the way. I'm not really going to be too lengthy on this, but last year, we're going to start with the over-under. I'm going to talk about as far as last season compared to this season, and then I'm going to talk about my expectations for this team and then also potentially the future. So last year, we seen the Dallas Mavericks win 50 games, so they went 50-32. First full season with Luka and Kyrie, phenomenal pairing. This duo had a lot of highs and not too many lows. They were fun to watch throughout the regular season. They were extremely fun to watch in the postseason. Obviously, minus the finals, but some either one outperformed the other in OKC series or Clipper series, or maybe even the Minnesota series. But all in all, they still played well for the most part in their run or their tenure so far together. I have Dallas with this 50-32 last year. I have them going over. It's not by a lot. It'd be, in my opinion, it's going to be in the same boat. 50 wins. The most, it'll be 53. Nothing over that. The most would be 51, 52, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to go with the over. I'm going to give us a dive into the depth chart and also the transactions that they made this offseason. So starting with the transactions, they added, I know off the top of my head, they brought Spencer Dinwiddie back. They added Quentin Grimes in exchange for Tim Hardaway, who was a guy that he started really damn good last year. I think throughout the first month or two of the season, he was averaging like 16, 17 points. She didn't respond back. I'm phone on D&D. I was so tempted to hit notify anyway, but I don't want to do it. Because I don't like when people do that to me. But they got Tim Hardaway Jr. out of the way for a guy. Damn, here comes Spike now. Goodness. They got Tim Hardaway Jr. out the way, rightfully so. And they also added or acquired Klay Thompson from the Golden State Warriors in basically like a signing trade. He was a free agent. He was looking to go elsewhere. They didn't really want to pay him what he was seeking, and I think he was just ready for a new destination. Period. And also Najee Marshall. Yeah, thank you, BMA. Najee Marshall as well. So that's Dinwiddie, Klay, Najee, and Quentin Grimes. 4 additions for the Dallas Mavericks for a team that just fresh off making the Western Finals. Period. Now we're looking at their depth chart. They're expected to start Klay Thompson. Why does theirs look like this? They're the only team depth chart. Why their depth chart look like this? Anyway, they're expected to start Luka, Kyrie, Klay, PJ, and from Jason Kidd, there's a battle in training camp and preseason for who's going to be the starting center. Also, I think it's going to be Derek Lively, but Derek Lively and Gafford are battling for who's going to be the starting center. 2 good players as well. When they added Gafford and PJ last year mid-season, that helped them bolster their roster. Most importantly, their defense, their rebounding, and their athleticism. That helped them out tremendously. For being able to pivot from Facts West, for being able to pivot from Dwight Powell and guys like Maxi Kleber, respect to Maxi though, he's needed for them. And then you pivot and you go with Lively, Gafford, and PJ. Derek Jones Jr. was also another acquisition for them last year, who was an asset or a positive, I should say. I like their team overall. I like their roster. What's next? Same expectations. You have a guy like Luka Doncic, who's viewed as a top 3 player in the league, top 5, however y'all want to spin it. You added a guy like Kyrie Irving, who's been a phenomenal running mate for him. And then you also have a guy like Derek Lively, who should be better in year 2. Last year, he was a rookie, and he had a lot of good highs. You also have good lows, and he's seen some limitations from him in the finals, with him being guarded by Jason Tatum. Not really, or wasn't really a post threat. He's looking to improve his outside game, practically also his outside shooting. That's something that has been a point of emphasis for him this summer. I feel like I'm talking fast. I'm going to try to slow down a little bit. That's been a point of emphasis for him this summer. I personally like the Spencer Dinwiddie signing for him to be the backup point guard for them off the bench. That was one of their weak spots last year. If Luka wasn't on the court, or Kyrie Irving, for example, for forever, any period, it's not really often, but any period they were on the court together, you've seen Dante Exum, you've seen Jaden Hardy, and that are things that they struggle with, especially in the final where that was on display. So you got okay, cool. I like Dinwiddie. He's happy to go back to Dallas. He said he played some of his best basketball in Dallas, which is true. Dating back to when they made the Western Conference Finals against the Golden State Warriors, Dinwiddie was really damn good for them in that regular season, also in that stretch, in that postseason. So I like all the moves they made this year. Najee's going to bring a 3-and-D guy for them. Quentin Grimes is going to be the same as well. Klay Thompson, not so much of the D side, but he should still be a capable or a decent defender. But more often than not, he's there for spacing. They need his outside shooting, and whenever you're playing with Luka and Kyrie Irving, you're going to get a lot of open shots. Mark Cuban literally just said that like last week or two on a podcast, speaking to Klay Thompson and envisioning his fit on this team. It's going to be like night and day. It's beautiful. All those open threes you saw, PJ Washington and Derek, go back on me between PJ Washington and Derek Jones Jr. shooting, that's going to be now Klay Thompson. Or you're going to leave Luka and Kyrie one-on-one. Above the break threes, especially. Facts. Especially in transition. Facts. Dallas is a team that plays either pace, whether it's fast, whether it's slow. Luka can push the pace sometimes. Luka can walk the ball up the court. He likes to read the defense overall, period. He also is very good at making an outlet pass or transition passes as well. So you're going to see Klay shoot a lot of above the break threes. I definitely agree with that. Good point. I'll be more. Derek Lively is expected to start. This is a guy that's going to flirt with a double-double on a night-to-night basis. If not average, I don't think he would average it, but he would definitely flirt with it. What did he average last year as a rookie? Coming off the bench. So last year as a rookie, he averaged 8 points and 7 rebounds while shooting 67% from the field. That's pretty damn good. This is a guy that's 7'1". He's a rim protector. He averaged a block last year, a block and a half, with almost a steal a game. So that's pretty damn good. He's now expected to be the full-time starter. So seeing Lively play 23 minutes last year and give you the I'm sorry. He averaged 8 and 7 last year. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. Wait, what? I'm confused. But either way, how are these two different things? How am I tripping? Either way, I'm gonna keep the flow going. Lively is now going to be playing. I would probably assume low 30s, high 20s instead of the 23 minutes that he saw last year. You'll see him, in my opinion, be at 28, 29, 30. With Daniel Gafford minutes being low 20s in that range. So both guys are still going to play. Both guys are still going to contribute. But Lively is just a clear, better player. And they've seen that, and we've seen that in the postseason last year. What else I want to touch on? What else I want to touch on as far as the Dallas Mavericks? I have them going over. Same expectation from last year. New expectations now. They should make the finals. That's their expectations. I'm pretty sure that's what they're thinking in the locker room as well. I'm not saying the same last year. Nobody, including myself, expected Dallas to make the finals last year. I thought it was Denver the whole damn time. I didn't want Dallas to play Denver at all. Thank God Minnesota took care of business. Or thank God Minnesota did that for me. Because I don't think Dallas would have beat Denver last year. But, yeah, I think their expectations to make the finals. And they did the moves to put themselves back in that position. Hopefully it all pans out. Hopefully Klay Thompson is having more often than not good shooting nights with him more being wide open for the most part. Kyrie will be Kyrie throughout the regular season, give you the 23 to 25 points. Luka will be Luka. We've seen him have a phenomenal regular season last year. And Derek Lively will be the biggest difference for me with him starting. So that's a big plus. That's a big positive. And then what Najee Marshall and Quentin Grimes, and we just got to see what they're going to do. Maxi Kleber, we got to see how the rotations is going to be. And I think that's really all I got to say. Same expectations. I got them going over the mark, the win total from last year. What's next? Get back, incorporate the new guys. All these guys should be plugins, really. Nothing to adjust to, honestly. And be better. Luka has to be better in the finals. Luka has to be better overall as a player from an efficiency standpoint. Kyrie has to be better. PJ Washington has to be better, so that's it. Be better and be consistent. That's really all I got to say about the Mavericks, man. I like all their offseason acquisitions. I like their roster. And that's it for me. Anybody got anything to say about the Dallas Mavericks? I feel like I'll just talk for like 5 minutes straight.
I got something to say.
I have a question after 20.
I'm going to be honest, bro. They lost a lot of athleticism. Like, you bring in Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, you feel me? But, like, you still got PJ Washington, but, like, Derrick Jones Jr. as a vertical, like, lob threat dunker spot guy. He was like their Aaron Gordon. Like, you feel me? You lose a big part of what, especially as a defender. We seen what he was doing against Paul George defensively. Like, is not Najee Marshall's a solid defender, but like Derrick Jones Jr. I mean, that's a big loss. I don't expect them to go back to the finals because him, PJ, they was a two-man punching crew against OKC. We seen what they was about.
Okay, I didn't know you were done right there.
That was a abrupt cutoff.
Yeah, I didn't know you were done. You just stopped. Like you just. I'm gonna read what B more typed in the chat, and then I'm gonna proceed back to you, and then I'm gonna go to West question. B more basically was sort of kind of saying what I was saying about as far as Klay Thompson last year converted 39% from three on 9 attempts while being 7th percentile in shot quality out of players to have played at least 2,000 minutes. Dallas generated some of the highest quality looks for their players, and I expect that to extend to Klay. Now, Tween, when you look at that situation with Derrick Jones Jr., I think it's more often than not addition by subtraction, or more so addition. There's no way you're looking at this team and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm hesitant or I'm skeptical because they lost Derrick Jones Jr. and he was sort of kind of like their Aaron Gordon." I don't like that comparison for one.
He was a wing. He was a wing stopper.
Yeah,
he has
defender.
Vertical. He has lob threat abilities. Dunker spot guy. He makes the 3 out, 4 out, whatever you would like to say, with lively pick and roll, and Derrick Jones dunker, and the 3 shooters. Kyrie. I mean, now it's gonna be Klay, and then the third one, you feel me? I'm pretty sure it's gonna be PJ still there. It's just like it don't have that same pop. Like, you have Kyrie, Klay, Luka. They're gonna have 3 guards at one time, right? Then you got PJ, then you got Lively. It don't like it's like too much of the same thing, you know?
What you mean by that?
Too much tough shot making. Like, Klay gonna hit tough shots. There's not a lot of easy, you feel me, just normal, like, you feel me, like a different, unique player. Like, it's all this, like, they gonna win a lot of games due to their skill set, but like they don't got no more. Like, Klay defensively, bro, last season, bro, that nigga was ass. Like, I get it. You got Kyrie still there. He was amazing defensively in the playoffs. But like, I don't know how I feel about this team. I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty hesitant. Like, everybody got better. Like, I mean, Denver did lose KCP. That is, but Jokic can ramp it up a little more, and they still got a nucleus. You feel me?
Do you think Dallas is a better team than what they were last year?
No.
Okay, so that's where we just disagree at then. Okay, all right, because you said they lost a lot, and what did they lose to you? And then tell me what they did. What did they add? And then I'm gonna go to West question.
They added 3-point shooting, which they
what did they lose? What did they lose first? Like, what?
They lost one of they lost their best defender.
Okay. And then they added. Did they add any good or quality defenders to you?
They did. Grimes is an elite pickup. You feel me? You still got Najee Marshall. You try to give him the MLE. That was a good pickup. I'm fond of those 2 players, but like, it's not the same. Najee's what was he listed at? 6'5", 6'6"?
Something like that. Whatever that. Yeah, whatever. I don't know his exact height off the top of my head.
I mean, he was solid in New Orleans. He had a good.
What does the height? What does the height got to do with anything? Though, when you
because he's going to mostly guard the threes. He's their wing stopper. That's what
Derrick Jones Jr. wasn't no tall guy though. He's a small wing himself.
He was like 6'7", but he had like a long wingspan.
Yeah, facts. Long wingspan. 6'5", long wingspan.
Derrick Jones is 6'5"?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Oh shit! I was expecting him to be a little taller. Okay, my fault then. I thought he was like 6'6", 6'7" ish.
I'm not even sharing my screen. I don't know why my screen's not sharing anymore. Sorry, guys. I'm not really looking at anything anyway. But I mean, yeah, I think Dallas.
I mean, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, my final comment to him. I'm gonna pivot to D-Mac and then pivot to, I think, West type this question actually. But I mean, I just disagree. I mean, yeah, Derrick Jones obviously was probably their go-to POA guy, right? Real athletic guy, great at cutting to the basket. That cannot be, all these things cannot be ignored, right? But that comes out the way now, and teams, we see this in the finals, bro. Do you remember what Derrick Jones Jr. was shooting in? I'm not shading him at all, but do you remember what Derrick Jones Jr. was shooting for them in the playoffs? Like, it wasn't good. So teams were able to teams were able to shade to him in a certain way that just wasn't good for Dallas offensively. I mean, now that's going to Klay Thompson, to the message that be more typed into the chat. They're generating open looks for Klay Thompson. Wow, you can take a defensive hit from a POA standpoint, but Dallas don't defend like that anyway. Dallas is a team defense. Dallas shades guys to the middle. Dallas shades guys to the paint. And when you're going towards the paint, you're going to Derek Lively. You're going to Daniel Gafford, who's not a good post defender, but he's good rim protection wise. That matters. Lively's a better post defender, obviously, than Daniel Gafford. He's bigger. He has more, anyways, but this goes to my point. They're a team defense. We just seen them defend.
Did their team defense get worse?
We got to see it, because I think they got guys that can come in and still help or contribute to that.
Who's going out?
As far as the lineup, you're saying?
Well, yeah. Which of the three is going out, like, to make their defense better late game?
Thank you.
Well, good question. I mean, it depends on who they're playing, but ultimately, I think it'll probably be Klay Thompson, because I think you can do an addition by subtraction in that scenario. Can Quentin or Najee shoot like Klay? Probably not, but they're guys that can still knock down an open or outside shot. But then also they're better defenders than Klay as well. So Quentin is a better shooter than Najee, but we have to see how their defense is looking between Quentin and Najee, personally, for me, to answer that question. So I think it'll be Klay. I don't think they're going to take Luka or Curry out in late game scenarios. If anything, they'll take out Kyrie if they have to and keep Klay and then double up on the defense. If it's like a one possession type of thing, I think they'll more often than not would do something like that. But as far as like last 3 minutes of a game, 4 minutes of a game, I don't think they'll have Luka or Kyrie out the game. I think they'll lean towards Klay. If he's not knocking out a shot, and then two, just an extreme liability, on that end. So yeah, I think I can agree with that, Barry, actually. But good question though. Go ahead, D-Mac. Yeah, Spencer's back.
So I think overall, I think that they did a good job, and I actually agree to a certain extent with what Tween was trying to get at as far as the vertical lob that DJJ did bring, because that was a massive piece of their offense, particularly in that Clippers series, I'll say specifically. And so not having that is going to be something to replace, but I do think that they did a better job at diversifying that roster. You talked about needing a backup point guard. That was something that they didn't really have. Obviously, they tried the Hardy thing. It was extremely inconsistent, very much up and down. I'm not the biggest Dinwiddie guy, but I do think that he's serviceable as a backup point guard, and I think that that's a good role for him for that standpoint. I like the fact that they brought in both Quentin, Najee, and Klay, just so that you have multiple avenues to finding whoever you feel is that best kind of closer to finish out your lineup from that standpoint. And it may be a situation in which one guy is hotter than the other, and it makes more sense for him to close on that day. But I think adding that depth certainly helps. Lively continuing to get better. I think that you saw it throughout the second half of the season was a really nice, encouraging sign for him. And obviously it was a tough finals, but I think it'll be a learning thing for him. And he was one of the big reasons why I felt like they had a chance to go to the finals when we were starting the playoff talks last year. So I think that he can take another step for sure. Ultimately, I would not be surprised if this team takes a step back from a seeding or record standpoint. I think that's possible. Again, Kyrie is my favorite player in the league, but we know how Kyrie can get during the regular season. There is a every night type of question mark that comes along with that. So maybe it is one of those things, and maybe they're still trying to find their footing as far as the rotation is concerned. It's not like the West is soft by any means. So if that happens, that's fine. But I do think that come playoff time, they'll be a more dangerous team than they were last year. Now, does that end up taking them to the finals? Question mark, because I do think other teams in the West have gotten better as well from where they were. So that's really the thing for me. I do think that they've made themselves an overall better and deeper team, but I'm not sure if that will, obviously take them to the same place. We got to see how things work out with the other teams as well.
Right, exactly. I like the last game that you said for sure. Anish, man, I didn't even know you was in here, bro. You could have came to the stage. I did a lot of talking about Dallas, but I rock with Dallas anyway. Wes, were you good, Wes? You had something to ask, or you were good?
He had asked about maximizing Clay's ability in an offense that was different than what that he had
I think
operated.
B-Move responded to him, right?
Yeah, and I think that that's a fair question to have, but I think it's just one of those things where he's not going to be expected to play that similar role, especially not from a volume standpoint or expectation standpoint. I think it's just I think it's just about simply being able to hit those spot up shots when asked to, and be a connector after that. Because the idea thing is being able to have one of Kyrie or Luka for the majority of the minutes, and if not, then Spencer will be out there as well to help out with the ball handling. And not a lot of other offensive burden will be on top of them. But again, you just got to get better above the break 3-point shooting than you did from those guys last year, because that's really what ultimately did them in on the offensive end.
Yes, sir. Well said, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Is anybody else? Do anybody else have any good 20 minutes or so roughly on Dallas? Dallas had no idea how to stop Porzingis in game one. Facts.
Man, there wasn't no stopping Porzingis in game one. That nigga was making everything.
Yeah, he's on a high.
I was like, yo, that man is cracked. Oh man, that was wild as fuck.
Are we good on Dallas? Anybody have any questions on Dallas? Or are we going to pivot to Denver? I think we're good. Heavenson, are you good on Dallas?
Mm-hmm.
What is she doing?
Heavenson, what you eating?
Are you okay? What are you?
Mm-hmm.
You all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm eating.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm eating.
Yeah, that's what I said. What you eating? It sound like
what are you eating that's that good? That's making you like. What are you eating that's that good though? What is that, Heavenson? What are you eating? I'm confused. Because now I'm curious.
Good lunch or something, you know.
Heavenson, what are you eating?
Dumpling.
Damn.
And
Damn, that sounds good right now, bro.
And sawfish and some plantain.
Yeah, that sounds great right now. No funny. Damn, bro. No funny. Good. You got to get some Jamaican food. Good. No funny. Get some Jamaican food for your B-Day goods. Real shit.
Strong bite.
If QG can reflect what he shot from 3 and 22 from 3, that completely changes things for Dallas, in my opinion. I like that Dallas had the ability to go from Clay coming off the court to Quentin coming on the court. Last year they was banking on Tim Hardaway to be that guy for them from an outside shooter perspective, and he just flopped. He started to flop. So I like their additions. Again, we'll see. We'll see what they look like. I like what D-Mac said. They got better from a roster standpoint overall, but that does not mean they're going to get them back to the same point where they were this past season. So we got to see how it comes together. And that's just a lot to respect to the team that's in the West, man. Like I said, there's 4 or 5 different teams that can make the finals in my eyes or viewed as guys or teams. No, that's Jazz. I'm not viewing Memphis as a team that should make the finals. That's Jazz. My bad. Not even Minnesota, to be honest with y'all. It's really 3 for me. Honestly, I'm looking at Denver, Dallas, and OKC. I'm being real. That's me. That's my opinion. Don't mind Milo, bro. I'm cutting this here. He looks ridiculous right now. I gotta stop. Like, you gotta come out the camera, bro. No funny. You gotta come out the camera. Before injury, Hardaway was good. Good point out. All right. Will Clay be the third option? Yes, Clay will be the third option. But you see more nights where PJ Washington will have a better offensive game than Clay, though. So I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it for me is I don't think this is a team where you have a clear third option from that standpoint. I think that you're going to see, obviously, the shots created by Luka and Kyrie, and then to a lesser extent, Dinwiddie be, for lack of a better term, the third option, whether it's the lobs to Gafford or Lively, or it's the outside shooting for the 3 guys we just talked about, Clay, Quentin, or Najee, or, from the standpoint of having PJ cutting or spotting up occasionally, too. So, like, it's one of those things. It's going to be by committee. And it's going to be whoever has the hot hand and whoever's in position to make those shots.
I agree. To close out, I agree, because I think some nights PJ Washington have good offensive games, similar to some games that he did in the playoffs. I think some nights with Derek Lively starting now, he's going to when he starts, he just looks better. He's just a better player than Gafford, and I'm glad that he's starting because you're going to see nights where he has 20 and 10, 18 and 9. 15 and 8, things that with 2 blocks. So if you play fantasy basketball, I'm giving y'all a gem right now. If you play fantasy basketball, prioritize Derek Lively, especially if you do a categories league, because he's gonna give you blocks, he's gonna give you points, he's gonna give you rebounds, and he's gonna give you the field goal percentage. High field goal percentage at that. So, and let me check his stats. I don't think he's a bad free throw shooter. I think Derek Lively is a decent free throw shooter. Let me check. I can't remember. Could be wrong. Well, he's a bad free throw shooter. Goodness gracious. My bad, y'all. Holy cow. 50%
Yeah, I was gonna say no, it's not.
my bad. My bad. I try to jazz him up. My bad, y'all. I try to jazz him up. But that's definitely
I'm not saying that it will or won't, but it is one of those things where he can get better at it. So, if that 50 can turn it to 65, then that.
And he's working. Derek Lively's a hard worker. He's working.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Thank you, D-Mac. Thank you, Be More in the chat. Thank you, Wes in the chat. Thank you, everybody that chimed in on the Dallas Mavericks. I think that was a phenomenal segment. Personally,